Welcome back to Sentient Synchronicities. Tonight we're gonna have a chill episode about plant teacher totems, literally. Like we're gonna talk about all the different plant medicines and the ways that you could actually use them to benefit your body, your soul, your mind, your spirit, all the different aspects of your 8 bodies, from physical to astral to causal to psychic to etheric to shamanic and beyond this. We're gonna talk about all of it. And you know we're going to be doing some crazy live shit too. I might be flipping machetes, you never know, but this is just what it is. I hope some people drop in just for fun, but if they don't, it's fine because it's live. Yo, what up? C-Pieces, you want to come up and host with me? I'm going to talk about plant teacher totems, so let's do this if you want to, that'd be bomb. Just you got to do a request so you can hop in, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to invite you in, but that'd be fun, that'd be fun, Yo, here, let me spark up my plant teacher medicine. This is what I got for today. Boom, check this. Now that's a nice size split, right? You gotta see it next to my finger, It's about the length of one of my fingers, but I got big freaking fingers, so. Yo, you should come in. You should come in and come host this with me. That'd be fun. Because then otherwise I'm just gonna be here talking and I'm like, yo, let's talk about niacin, vitamin B3, let's talk about nicotine not being a drug, let's talk about marijuana being illegalized by the 1937 Marijuana Tax Act to illegalize hemp, but they illegalized marijuana and hemp at the same time. Let's talk about a bunch of stuff. Yo, semantics, what up? Peace, Colombia, Bogota in the building. Yo, let's do this. Oh, I can't even speak properly because I got a fat fucking spliff in my mouth. You can imagine the size of this. This is about 3 grams, and this is sticky papaya with a little bit of mapacho tobacco. Mapacho is the grandfather of truth. So that's the gran padre de la verdad. That's like one of the best plant teacher totems in the world. It comes from the Amazonian rainforest. It's actually, they call it the grandfather of truth, right? So because it grounds you, it brings you back to the earth, it brings you back to reality, to who you're meant to be. And marijuana is like the grandmother of myth. Marijuana, Mary Jane, she's the one that never cheats on you. She's always there for you. What up, Butterfly Me? Yo, please come on in if you want to. We got some of the coolest people in the world hopping in here right now, chilling in. And so it's a pleasure to actually have you here too. We're talking about, plant teacher totems. I'm just sparking up a spliff of some sticky papaya and some mapacho tobacco, talking about the roots of all of that. Now, I don't know if any of you know about kratom or about blue lotus or ashwagandha or sassafras, natural sass. I'm not talking MDMA or ecstasy or MDA, but like natural sassafras that you can get. It's like beautiful, beautiful stuff. So there's all kinds of other plants too, like kava, morning glory. So many plants that are actually legal, Herb is the healing of the nation. And this is one of the most ancient strains on the face of the planet. It's called sticky papaya. Now, some of you would be like, yo, some people out there would be like, I don't really smoke that kind of stuff. I want my OG Kush. I want my alien cookies. I want my this and that. I smoke some stuff like that once in a while too. But these strains these days, a lot of them are hybrids. There's, mix and match. This is an ancient strain from back in the days from East Asia. Southeast Asia. Grows all around the islands too. Sticky papaya, and it tastes like dried papaya, so it's really wonderful stuff, and I paid $15 an ounce for this, so you can't go wrong. Plant medicines, please get them indigenously if you can. Everybody in here knows this already, but anybody who's watching in the future, plant teacher totems, when they're indigenous, they always teach you the right lessons, If they're commercially compounded, if they've got chemicals in them, that's the problem. But a lot of people have this misunderstanding that nicotine is a drug, and that cigarettes are a delivery device for nicotine, but nicotine is vitamin B3. It's actually nicotinic acid, so it's beneficial for the blood flow in the brain and for the body as well. It's really, really good stuff. Yo, mad respect, Butterfly Meat. It's dope. Yo, it's a pleasure. I just wanted to drop a little bit of piece of info for some stuff, and I wanted to put it and do it in a chill fashion, I'm going to have a lot more guests coming back in actually soon, like from tomorrow onwards. Unknown Misery is going to be hosting this with Babylon Warchild. We're going to have Ryan Sage back in on here, Logan, Wolverine from Spaceless Realms. We got C-Pieces in on here, Semantics. So we're going to have a whole crew of fam, but right now this is kind of just a little bit of an introduction for fun tonight because I didn't know what else to do, So I was like, I'm going to sit around and try to talk about what we could use natural plants instead of dangerous drugs that are chemically compounded. By the way, for those of you that don't know, anybody in the future listening too, because most of you probably heard me talk about this before, but Big Pharma is actually created by Nazis in the Third Reich. So most of the pharmaceutical drugs we get at the drugstores are actually compounded by Nazis. Most people don't know that. So your Tylenols, all the other shits, recoded, remade, rebranded, brought back together, but it was made in the 1930s and 40s by Nazis. Some of those were even developed in the 1890s, and the original ones, the first generations of antipsychotic drugs. So we got to be careful about that kind of shit, you know? Crazy stuff, but people, you can go look that up. Look up Blitzed Drugs in the Third Reich. It's an academic book on the subject. You can look all that up and research it. Do your research for yourself. Drink deep from the pier and spring, you know, because it's shallow draughts intoxicate the brain. Yo, what up? Geechee girl. Peace. Yeah. Ganja, the difference too when you cough from this, it's an expectorant. So it helps to cleanse the toxins from your body and the extra mucus and everything else, which, by the way, nutrition, this is why Rastas smoke herb and why they eat ital, because ital is vital. You know, like that means vital foods, literally. So you only put what's good for you in your body, and then the expectorant, like the marijuana in this case, actually allows you to cleanse the toxins from your body. But if you're smoking, yo, peace goddess, if you're smoking like some good ganja versus cigarettes, if you're smoking commercial cigarettes, the expectorant's not going to work. It's going to actually cough from the chemicals. It's going to create mucus in the lungs and infect them and then cough that out. Yo, peace, guys. Yo, Heather, that's dope. It's a pleasure to actually see all of you in here. But yeah, it's crazy to actually see how many people in these days and times. Yo, what up, nation? You would know. I'm just explaining how herb is so healing, you know? So it's so important for people to actually grasp that. There's like millions of plant teacher totems on the face of the planet. There's only a couple of drugs that are illegal. There's maybe like 5 or 6 main drugs that are illegal. And people get stuck on those street drugs to try to find remedies. And even drugstore stuff, there's 500 main pharmaceuticals in the drugstore that are compounded from natural indigenous remedies. But if we use these remedies naturally, like say willow bark for a salicylic acid, which is, you know, aspirin, then we can cure ourselves naturally without using any of those pharma drugs that are compounded by Nazis. So we don't need Nazi drugs in our lives, essentially speaking, you know? Oh, by the way, this is Mos Def Respiration beat in the background. I gotta give credit to whoever made that, but you know, that's, I don't have the copyright for this, but I love the background because to me it's a pretty chill one and it's about breathing in, you know, breathe in, breathe out. That's Black Star. Respiration. Escúchala, la ciudad respirando. You know, listen and hear the city breathing. Because the city is breathing all the time. The city breathes a lot of ganja, you know, the city breathes a lot of medicines, but then we got to realize they're trying to poison us and turn us into zombies with these drugstores and toxins and poisons and chemicals in our bodies and in the skies and in the chemtrails and in the food and the byproducts and the factory farming and all of that. It all fits in together. It's a great genocide plan by the Nazis to actually feed us genocide and entrap us in a cycle of karma. But when we smoke ganja, we see through that whole veil. You know, you see through the illusion, which you see through the smoke, essentially. You smudge inside and outside. You're cleansing the evil spirits from around you. You notice some people that don't like natural smells, right? They only like chemicals and drugs. They don't like drugs that they think are drugs. These aren't drugs. These are plants. This is incense. This is a natural plant, you know? But then some people hate drugs and they think that plants are drugs and drugs are plants or some shit because they basically go to the drugstore and then they get drugged up off that and they go to the drugstore and there's a war on drugs. And we all know this, but we're like, yo, but you know what I mean. And we still go there to buy a bunch of food and buy stuff. Yo, what up? Peace to everyone who popped in. Yo, so yeah, it's crazy stuff, you know, to think that we actually go through all of this stuff and then we get stuck in this situation where we have no other option but chemical drugs. Like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, give me a second, 60s, I'll get you in here. Yeah, so right now I'm smoking 3 grams of marijuana. Now most people would get really high off of that, right? If it was like Purple Haze or OG Kush or something like that, that would be way too much. But this stuff is a natural strain, which is like kind of like Thai cess in a sense, but it's sticky papaya. What up, Brethren?
Good to hear from you, bro. Well, it's been a minute, but I've been like I needed some energy boost because I've been not running on adrenaline and wow, just eating more natural and eating a little less processed has me like Like I'm feeling the withdrawal like that you were talking about from the
Yes,
heavy shit, the
whatever.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a really good. It's wonderful that you're hopping up on this one because I'm talking about plant teacher medicines and plant based living is where it's at, literally. So it's because with
Exactly.
plant teacher totems, the medicines, they actually teach us to meditate. They teach us everything. Whereas the animals that are suffering and that are killed and that are domesticated, we become like they are because we are what we eat. So if we, you smoke herb, you actually eat plants. You become like the plant teacher totems. The spirit of the plants are inside you. You learn how to meditate. You learn how to have all the extrasensory abilities, transmute the melanation. You absorb the melanin from the sun. You transmute your photovoltaic abilities, increase. Your hydromelanation increases from water, from everything. You absorb everything, and then your body becomes like a living receptacle for what you put into it. It's a sacred temple and a vessel at the same time. So it becomes
Yeah, and your
beautiful.
fertile field
We're
goes
actually pure
crazy.
plant.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. I know exactly what you're saying when you're smoking and when you're. I'm a breatharian, right? I eat like one meal a day. Like I'm mostly just pumping off like I know it's not the best, but vapes, which are I know that are good quality and relatively high quality ganja, right? So, I mean, that's all you really need. That's what keeps me going, and caffeine, right? But other than that, I smoke a couple darts a day, but not more than two. I'm trying to keep it natural, and I love that beat you got in the background, bro.
Yo, thank you, man. That was Mos Def, an original track, one of the best tracks. Mos Def and Talib Kweli, Black Star, Respiration. Uh, you know, so I did a remix on that on the Rebirth of an Era, but it's a beautiful. The original's way better, to be honest. To me, anyways. Personally, I like doing reduxing the classics, but yeah, crazy ass shit. Seriously, like the amount of stuff that people go through to get like this is what I was talking about earlier before you came in. That the stuff that people go through to get illegal drugs. And I'm like, you've got legal drugs everywhere. You can order them off the internet. You can get them everywhere for super cheap. You can get stuff that's just like mushrooms that'll get you just as high for way cheaper. You can get mushrooms legally in some places now, in other places, but it's still crazy that people choose illegal drugs just because they're illegal. And I'm like, yo, you've got so many other options now.
And let me be honest, bro. It's like I'm gonna talk some real shit on benzos that I have personal experience. Like they ain't that great. Like for a while, everyone thinks that benzos are so amazing. It's really like it's the bad parts of alcohol and none of the fun. And like, I mean, I could talk on opiates and shit, but like, people just become slaves to the substance, like pink cocaine, like all this other shit. Like, I know we're gonna get super censored for this, but hell, screw it. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, all this stuff just enslaves you to a different demon. It's like whether
It
you're not
does.
whether you're malnutrition or whatever it is. It's like there are entities here that are definitely willing to suck all your energy, and they're gonna take it if you're gonna give it to them.
Well, and I think it's pretty clear we know that psych wards aren't there to heal people. You know what I'm saying? If you've been to a psych ward, you know what I'm saying? You've been there, it's like a jail for crazy people.
They
That's
turned me
basically.
into a veggie, bro. They put me on olanzapine. You know what they have in the hospital now?
Yo,
It's supposed to be the
olanzapine is
strongest
not even the
anti.
worst one. Trust me, brethren. I was on Zyprexa. I know what you're saying. They put me on 20 milligrams of that shit. That's not even the worst one. That's one of the better ones. They put me on the first generation ones too. Those ones are fucked up as hell, man. I got side effects from some of those like you wouldn't believe. Seroquel, way worse than olanzapine.
Circle's worse?
Seroquel is fucking horrible, man, especially the injections. Yo, they told me they were going to put me on Seroquel if my injections right now didn't work. So imagine, I'm like, no, they're working. I'm good. I don't even want to argue
Damn.
anymore because I'm like, if they switch me to Seroquel, I'm fucked.
That shit puts like I have a buddy who was on Seroquel before, but he switched to something else because he was like sleepy all day, bro. Like it was crazy to see him. I
Oh,
think he
but the
switched to
demons
gabapentin.
on that, bro. You have no idea. I'm like Legion. I've been through every fucking pharmaceutical on the face of the planet. I've been through all the main ones. Crazy ass shit.
I don't doubt it, bro. When you go hip hop and Rasta, it kind of goes with the thing, right? But if you come full circle and you come back, like that's the real shit. You know what I mean?
Yo, yeah. Peace, yo. That's Roosevelt Henry. That's a brethren from way back in there. Yo, please hop in the discussion, brethren.
Hop
Yo,
in.
if that's you on
We
that
want to hear
video,
what you got to say, bro.
yo, please. That's a brethren I've known for like 20 years, man. That's crazy. yo, please hop up and make a request, because if I invite you in, it's not gonna accept. But like, yo, I would love to hear what you have to say on this topic. I know you got a lot of wisdom and knowledge to drop. That's one of my best friends on the planet that just hopped in. Oh, yo, no problem.
Oh, good. It's a pleasure to meet you. Well, let me just follow you real quick.
Yeah, see, like, this is what I mean about natural. Rastas would know this. This is natural weed. This is sticky papaya ganja. It's probably like a 2,000, 3,000 year old strain in its origin. This is natural
Wow.
outdoor weed that's grown in the sun on the Listigouge Reserve not far from here. You know, so it's grown naturally outside. This is an old strain from ancient strain. I paid $15 an ounce for this. This is ridiculous. This, back in the days, a gram was that price. And this was in the 90s, and inflation hit us hard on every level for everything except for weed. So I feel super grateful to live in a country where this is legal. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, I'm very grateful. Yo, respect, no question.
100%.
Because, like I said, if I was smoking some kind of hybridized super high THC shit, this is high still. This is 27%. But, like, if I was smoking some 38% like N39 or sour diesel or some shit, which is super good, but that shit would fuck me up. This would keep me functional. You know, this is good. This is like Rasta weed. It's like smoking like Thai cess or chocolate cess or something. People think, or like Mexican cess. People think it's swag sometimes. I'm like, no, bro, the cheap weed is actually where it's at. If it's good quality,
Uh,
what you need. It's like you need the natural stuff outdoor. You don't need hydroponic that's grown inside with a bunch of fertilizers and all kinds of hybridizations and splits and like, 20 generations of scientists that have been modifying it. You don't need that. That's not from the earth.
that's like there's just like super straining around. It's like a land race, but it's like almost banned everywhere because people know how strong it is. You know what I mean? But it's like straight up Irani. Like it is like I think it might be like in the mountains area. Like it's
Oh, I
native to
believe
that
that.
area.
I'm part Persian, so I feel that. It's like Syrian rue is really good shit too in terms of plant teacher totems. That's a really good one to replace mushrooms. And it's the only sacred plant that's allowed in the Quran. It's
Which
actually
what?
like the Syrian rue. Peganum harmala. They say that an angel watches over the root of the plant of the harmal.
Mm. Kalki, can you DM me that later because I can't pick up exactly how to spell that.
Oh yeah, no problem. Just like Syria, Syrian rue, R-U-E.
RUE. Ah,
R-U-E,
very cool.
rue. Yeah.
My family's from Syria, Syria, Lebanon, right? So like on a quarter side. So for me, it's like you're tracing back direct to my roots. So
Yeah,
it's like
that's dope. That's beautiful. See, that's what I mean. Brethren, I got roots there too, so I feel you. I'm like, I got roots all over the planet, but Middle East, very strong. Middle East, and then the whole, like, most of my roots are all around the Mediterranean, all the way, like, from one side, all the way to Maghreb, all the way around to Persia, Turkey, like, all around that area,
so
like, that circle of
a
maybe
literal circle. Yeah.
where most of my roots are, like 60, 70% of my bloodlines are from there.
Damn. I never did an ancestry test, so I can't go off that. But from what I know, I'm pure full blood Jew, right? So it's that's
But Jew
from
is not a
Moses.
race, you'd be Hebraic, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, like Israelite.
Yeah,
Like I can
that's
trace on both
but
sides. Like
Israelite, not
the
really.
which tribe I
Israel,
can.
Israel doesn't really exist as a country. Back then, maybe, but now
Judea and Samaria.
you'd have
Judea and Samaria.
polytheism
Yeah, I'm
in
referring
roots,
to.
basically. You know what I mean?
But if you go to Tel Aviv, they'll tell you we're down for a two-state solution. You go to Haifa, say we're down for a two-state
Oh
solution.
yeah, of course.
You go to
But the
Palestine,
point
they're
is,
not down for
what
anything.
would
I'm
be
like, I
the
wish we could
problem if
find a
you just
two-state
called it
solution.
Palestine? Why wouldn't you just call it Palestine? They called it Israel for a while. Why don't you just call it Palestine? Why would it bother anyone to call it Palestine?
There's no real difference
That's
at the end of the day. The
what I
Palestine Post
that's
was
what I
what
mean. If
the
you're
Israeli
listening,
Jews called it. Like, yeah,
if
sure, call it
somebody told me
Palestine.
no, Canada is now being called the Toronto Dominion, I'd be like, no, no, we're calling it Canada. because that's the original name for the native settlement, Kanata. So I'm like, no, that's Kanata. I live in Quebec. These names, I like to keep them. They're beautiful names. My mom lives in Nikitotegwak. I like that. You know, so around here, next door is Kozapskal, then is Amqui, then Sayabek. I'm like, cool. Other way, Marapedia. So I'm like, those are all native names. I love those names. Those are beautiful. We can keep those. But like, you know, insisting on calling a state that's been committing genocide over and over on its own peoples the name that it wants to name itself, I'm like, why? Why would we remember what Israel as a government did to people in Palestine? No. Call it
I
what they want. Palestine,
I feel you, but they're doing the
call it
dirty
the
work
whole,
for the states, bro.
let's
That's
just
all
call
it
it the
is.
Holy Land.
Yes, facts. Let's agree on that. I agree that I agree with you. It is the Holy Land. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Then we call it that, then there's no problem. Because even Palestine is not a Palestinian name. It doesn't come from people. It's like, it's a name that was given by colonizers.
Right, by Romans. Exactly. You know your history better than I
Oh,
do,
I
definitely. But
don't think I do, to be honest, brethren. I'm learning bits and pieces as I go along. I'm a generalist, but I know a lot on a lot of subjects, but surface knowledge. I'll be honest about that. I know in depth on some subjects for sure, because at the end of the day, I'm a world wisdom literature postdoctoral scholar. So I've got a postdoctorate, I've got a PhD, I've got a master's, you know, obviously I have a bachelor's. Well, I could have jumped, but like, you know, it's crazy shit
yeah,
because all of us have that potential. I want to explain that to people too. Even if we're talking about plant teachers, you can study plant teachers at university, but at the end of the day, some people don't realize they think you need to be really intelligent to do a PhD. It's the other way around. The most difficult degree I did was my BA. It took me almost 10 years. But when I got past my
really.
BA, the was easy. Masters, I finished it in like 2 years, but it took me a while. I got screwed over. Then I got to PhD. It was way easier. I didn't even need to study or do anything. And I was like just living my life. And I was like doing everything I love to do. So I didn't need to study because it was my passion. But you got to do something you believe in. You know, you got to do something you love. Oh, yo, what up? Miss Parker Speaks. Yo, please hop up if you want. It'd be beautiful. I'd love to hear what you have to say on this too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, crazy stuff. You know, it's like if you this is something people don't get. A lot of people go to university or they go to study or they go to do a degree because they want to make money. But if you do it for passion, you're never gonna have to work. You're always gonna do what you love. So why wouldn't you choose something you can specialize in, make money in, and be passionate about at the same time? Then it's a win-win-win. But a lot of people don't think like that because they're like, I'll make like 150 grand a year if I do this. I don't like it at all, but it's worth the money. I almost fell into that trap. And then they'll be like, but I can't do this for 30 grand a year. I'm like, try it out. Trust me, you'll not regret it. Like, you will not regret it because you might not have everything you're hoping for. But at the end of the day, even if you pay off your mortgage quicker and have a slightly bigger house, are you really going to be that much happier if you do something you hate? You know, that's what teachers, to me, they put us back on the right path. They bring us back to what we're meant to be. You know, they really bring us back to that elemental nature. And then when you put plants in your body, you live vital. It's like, yo, the plants are teaching you everything. The reason people ask me all the time, like, how did you do a PhD, a postdoctorate? You did all these poems, you got 600 albums, you manage a record label, you managed an ashram, you shut down gang houses, you used to be a gangster, you've got like armed robberies, trafficking counts, all this shit. How did you live all this shit and you look like you're still in your 20s or 30s? I'm like, I don't know, because like the plants taught me everything. The insects taught me everything. The animals taught me everything. Mother Nature taught me everything. I pray to the goddess. I don't pray to God the Father. I don't pray in religion. I'm not, you know, I do what Jesus did. He said, go pray in your closet. My closet is big. It's my house. It's my casa. You know, that's my closet. But I don't go to church because he said, don't go to church. Don't be a hypocrite. Don't pray to show off how much you pray to people. So I'm like, okay, I'll pray alone and I'll do it in my own time and I'll do it my own way. I'll do it by making rhymes. I'll do it by honoring the Mother Nature, by honoring the people around me, you know. But it's weird that people don't realize they say they want to be like Jesus or they want to be like their savior or they want to be like their prophet or they want to be like their God. But at the end of the day, they don't follow any of the commandments that are in their books. Because one of the main ones is thou shalt not kill in every religion, in every faith. And people are like, oh, but they meant like humans or something. We can kill and eat animals. I'm like, those are occult You know?
What?
Yeah,
No. That's crazy, bro. Sorry. But when you put me on to that shit, I was just like, yo, what? This guy makes mad sense. Like
that's what I'm
so much
saying.
sense that
And you know,
that I couldn't
we live in the
comprehend.
last
I
days.
literally switched my lifestyle on a dime.
Hmm. And you know, we live in the last days. They all say that. All the scriptures are saying we're living in the final ages. You know,
Even their fake, even their books, which have a lot of fake, misleading truths, they do
exactly.
have a
And
lot of
they
signs that
say that.
point to us being the final epoch. Yes,
And how
the
many
end of their
false
time.
prophets do you see everywhere on YouTube, everywhere saying, I'm Buddha, I'm Jesus, I'm this, I'm that. And people follow them, like hundreds of thousands of people. And then other
Oh yeah,
people, it says that everything will be inverted. The good will become evil, evil will become good. People
looking
are eating
good.
children
Yeah,
on a daily basis, and nobody argues about it. That's how evil the world has become. That's the greatest genocide that even Holocaust survivors have spoken out on, like I said last time. Holocaust survivors from the World War II have said, listen, these animals are suffering as much or more than we are in our own concentration camps. And this is the same thing, but it's happening on a massive scale, like hundreds of billions in a year. And this is what we do, factory farming. Nobody talks about it, and it's 95% of the food production in the world is factory farm. But nobody talks about it. Everybody's like, yeah, but my uncle, though, he has a cow, I think. He had one when I was young. I'm like, but that's not the cow you're eating, and even if it was, that's really fucked up that you would do that to your own pet, you know? Like,
right.
and then people are crazy in China for eating dogs. I'm like, what's the difference? Why do you think that's so weird? You're eating what else? What else? You know? And then they eat snakes and rats and dogs. Maybe that's more sustainable than what you're doing. Like maybe it's the same shit, anyways. You know? Who knows? It's fucked. It's all fucked to me. I'm like, why would you murder? Why would you murder innocent beings? They're part of nature. What are we doing here? We're colonizing and destroying everything as human beings if we're not indigenous. So I'm like, yo, I just want to live close to the land. I want to live simple, you know?
Panda. I respect that a lot, brother, too. It's like it shows your true colors. Because a lot of people say it, but they don't act it, right? Like men city, they eat processed food. Just you walk the walk.
I tried to. It took me my whole life to get there. I don't want to be a hypocrite because I used to eat McDonald's. I used to eat all that shit when I was younger. I didn't know. But when somebody told me the way I told you, and nobody really did that way, but somebody just told me one day, like I can't even remember how it happened. I think it was from somebody showing me a movie actually and telling me to watch. I think the first movie I watched was not Dominion, but that was like the second I think I watched, which was hardcore as fuck. First one wasn't Earthlings. It was those
Conspiracy?
are, but it was Cowspiracy, Cowspiracy, and then I was like, yo. And I remember somebody told me after that about free range eggs and that they weren't free range and that they were grinding up baby chicks in high speed grinders. And I looked it up on YouTube and I saw the high speed grinders and the baby chicks fucking being dumped into them. And I was like, what? Then I completely stopped eating eggs. That's when I stopped being vegetarian because I was like, holy
Mm.
shit, this is fucked. I was like, this whole world is a giant occult ritual. This is New World Order shit. They control everything through fear and torture and genocide, and they tell everyone, shh, you talk about it, we're gonna kill you. But I'm like, yo, I'm speaking up. Fuck you. Fuck Meta. Fuck Zuckerberg. Fuck anyone in factory farming. Fuck animal ag. Fuck your sponsorships. Fuck anyone in the industry that actually supports animal ag. Fuck all of you for saying, yeah, $50 steak meal or whatever the fuck you've got in your videos and all the other shit that you've got that's going on. Fuck all of you. One nation, undivided, under goddess.
Yes,
I felt,
sir.
you know.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I'll smoke
And if we get
one to that.
for saying this, it is what it is. But
Yeah,
you know what? I'm gonna close it right on that, just because I think it's a good ending. And if I close it now, I could probably save it. So let's do it. Thank you. There's
let's do it.
so much to you for being here, and thank you to everyone for dropping through.
Thank
This was,
you for the space, brother.
you know, so mad respect. Peace.
Divine.